Hello everybody and welcome to DC Fine Art. Today I'm going to cover some of the supplies that I have to create a color pencil piece. Now all these supplies that I am going to list off, you do not need all of these supplies in order to create a color pencil piece. That's not what I'm getting at. But these supplies have helped me with certain color pencil pieces whenever I run into something that I'm actually needing to add more layers to, add another highlight, like a super bright highlight that I'm able to blend my color pencils with. That's what I'm just going to be going over in this video. So let's go ahead and turn this around, and I want to go ahead and show you each product that I use and the benefits that it does have with having these products and how much it helps me. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So now I'm going to start off with the very first thing. You're getting ready to do a color pencil piece. You went ahead and transferred your drawing onto your paper and you are ready to go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is look for an eraser. What eraser am I going to use in order to remove some of that graphite off my paper? That way it's not getting in the way with my color pencil. Because sometimes if you don't erase that color or that graphite off your paper and you're working with some lighter colors in your color pencils, you can have that graphite start to show through and it's really hard to get rid of. So what I like to do is get rid of some of that shiny slick graphite off my paper by using either a kneaded eraser, which takes off that shiny graphite just enough so that way color pencils can go on top of it very easily and can cover it. So I either do that, or if I'm wanting to take off a whole lot more of the graphite from the pencil, then I will use my Derwent, and it's a mechanical eraser. So I do use that eraser. So it's either between those two erasers that are my go-to for getting some of the graphite off of my paper when starting a color pencil piece. Now, I do have one more eraser that I do like to use on occasion, and that is the Perfection Eraser by Faber-Castell. It has an eraser on one end in a pencil form along with a brush at the end of it. Now, this eraser right here actually helps me out where if I end up going over with my color pencil and it goes over like maybe into an area that I don't want it at, or I'm wanting a correction and I'm wanting to remove some of my color pencil off the paper, I will go to my Perfection Eraser and use it to remove the color pencil off my paper. The other eraser that I do use to do that is the Derwent mechanical eraser, so you can either use that one, but I do like using my Perfection Eraser by Faber-Castell because I'm able to create a really finer point on the pencil and get into finer details to erase them. Also, it seems to get a lot of the color pencil off because it's a little bit more of a harder eraser than the Derwent mechanical eraser. So those are the erasers that I like to use. And now moving on to the next product that I do like to use. Mind you, I am not sponsored by any of these things that I'm telling you or any of these products. So I do my own, I purchase my own stuff. So wanted to throw that out there. The second thing that I like to use is blending with OMS. OMS is Odorless Mineral Spirits. And the one that I chosen to use, not that you have to, you can also use other odorless mineral spirits by different brands such as Mona Lisa, I know has an odorless one, but I like to use the Gamblin Gamsol Odorless Mineral Spirits. And this one here, I know I got one of the big jugs, and that's just how much I like it. I do use it quite often. So I definitely have the bigger jug, and it's lasted me a really, really long time. But I put it in this little bitty metal canister, and the little canister, as you can see, you can open it up, and inside it has little holes. And I just cleaned my brush off in it. So that's what I use in order to blend my color pencil pieces with. Now, the brush that I use is a Masterson's Touch is just a generic cheap brush you can get at Hobby Lobby. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy to do this. So the one I'm using is a Masterson's Touch number 2 Filbert. And I know that they have different sizes. So if you're wanting to go smaller size or you wanting to go a little bit bigger size, you could do that also. And this brush lasts me quite a while. And then once I wear it all the way down to where basically the bristles are gone, then maybe I'll get another one. But that is the brush that I like to use with my Odorless Mineral Spirits in order to blend my color pencils with. Now let's just say you're working with some tiny, tiny details and you're wanting to blend it out, but it's basically your last layer and you're just wanting to get these finer things. Instead of using OMS, I have been really easily, or haven't been, but I don't even know how to word my stuff. I'm so sorry, you guys. But I will go after right here, which is a full blender, and it's a bright blender by Caran. And it is basically it is a color pencil. It's made out of the same material as a color pencil would be from the Caran set, but it has no pigment in it. So therefore you're getting that same consistent color pencil, but in a it has no color in it. So what I do is I just sharpen it to the point that I'm needing, and I just blend out that little bitty area that I need, and that's what I use. Now it works really, really nice. I do like it. That is just my opinion though. I mean, some people may not like these, but I do enjoy using them for tiny, tiny details and getting that last blend that I'm needing. So that's what I go to whenever I have some smaller little areas, and it's my very last, just my last blending. So now here's another product that I absolutely love to use. And let's just say you're working on, let's just say this panda eye that I'm working on right here. And as I'm working on it, I could not put a white dot in the center of his eye. Now, there's two things that I could do, but I knew that I could do it this way really easily. And that's to pick up my colored pencil touch-up texture. And it is by Brush and Pencil. It actually has a little, kind of like nail polish has a little brush inside. And I take that out and I can brush a little bit on the area that I'm needing to add that highlight to or an extra layer to. And that little area, once it dries, I can come back in and add my little dot for my highlight or add another layer if needed. So this here is a go-to for me whenever I'm needing to add another little highlight or add some more layers in a smaller area. This is what I'll do, is pick up that Brush and Pencil, colored pencil touch-up texture. So let's just say I'm working on a bigger area. I'm working on fur, and I had to use it again in this panda video. So here I am doing my layers, layering upon layer, and I ran into a layer that I couldn't add another layer to. It was like my 5th layer or 4th layer, I don't know, somewhere in there. And my pencil wasn't sticking very well. So I went ahead and thought, all right, I got the tool I can go ahead and use to add more layers to it. So what did I do? I reached for my Texture Fixative by Brush and Pencil. It is a can, and you got to shake it really well, but you can use that to spray over your color pencil piece, let it dry, and once it dries, it adds another fine layer of texture to your paper for you to go back in with your color pencil and add another layer to it. Mind you though, if you are working and you have, let's just say, a black area or a darker area, like for instance, this panda, and he had a black eye or kind of like a darker mouth, if those areas are done and you're not wanting to add any more layers to it and you're wanting to use this Texture Fixative, make sure you take another piece of paper, cover it up, then spray, and then let it dry. And then you can remove your paper after you spray it down. If you don't, it may leave little bitty white speckles that do show up on your darker areas. and therefore you would have to go back in and kind of add another layer over the top of them, or use OMS to kind of blend out those little white spots, or add another layer after that. So just a little note there, when using it, make sure you cover up your areas that you're already done with, or at least your darker areas that you're done with, so that way you don't have no white speckles showing up on those areas. But other than that, it helps to be able to add another layer to your piece when you can't add another layer. So those are the things that I like to use. And the very last thing that I want to get to that I like to use when using or when doing a color pencil piece is, let's just say you're wanting a really bright highlight, brighter than the white that you already have for your color pencil, which my brightest white is the Derwent drawing pencil. Let's just say you want one that's super bright and has a white pop to it. So this is what I do. I pick up my brush and pencil, color pencil touch-up texture right here. And then I take some of the brush and pencil, color pencil, white titanium powder. Now I sprinkle this little titanium powder into a dish, and then I add a little bit of my touch-up texture from this little thing here that looks like a nail polish bottle. I take those two and add enough of the liquid to the powder. You don't need much powder though, but enough to where you can make a consistency of like kind of like paint kind of consistency, like a watery paint, and or not too watery, I shouldn't say that, more like kind of like an acrylic paint. And I take a brush and I'm able to go in and make little highlights on my color pencil pieces. So little dots, little sparkles, maybe a gleam in the eye, maybe a highlight here and there. You can get overly excited, so make sure you try and use it only on spots that you're really wanting to pop with a highlight. But other than that, these are all the products that I use when needed. I don't need them all the time, but I do need them on occasion when I run into that little bitty thing that I'm needing that extra pop, an extra layer, or maybe I'm just needing to erase some of the color pencil off that I did. Maybe I went with the wrong color and I didn't like it. At least I know that I got a Perfection eraser that can come in and erase it. So those are just some of the things that I use, and I hope this helps you out if you're kind of curious on what I'm using for my color pencil pieces. So if you could just leave a like, and that would definitely help. I'm like over here, a like, and then leave a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And also, if you're wanting longer tutorials on some of the mediums that I have, which is color pencil, we got charcoal, we got oil pastel, I know, and acrylic painting, or if you're just wanting to check out some of those videos over on my Patreon, then I do have one free video on each medium for you guys to try out. Plus that each month I come up with some ideas maybe to get your inspiration going for creating a piece or a it could be any kind of piece that you want. I got inspiration on there. So anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, the link for the Patreon is right here. And I will see you all on the next video. Bye, you guys.